So here we are with another bike, a Yamaha. This is a 2004 TTR 250. She's kind of on the rough side. Did some trading with the old Honda Sabre, and we ended up with this thing. Story on the bike is, he said he bought it from somebody and it needed the carb clean. It had been sitting up for a while, and the only thing he can do was to spray something at it and get it to hit off, but it wouldn't actually start. Now this bike is an electric start only. It didn't have a battery in it, and the gas tank is basically sitting on it. It's got a fuel line hooked up to the carb, and it's got gas in it. And I sprayed some starter fluid at it, and it hit off and cut back off, same like he said. That was the day I got it. The carburetor boot is half on. I don't know if you can see it. This is just basically sitting on there. And it's got battery cables, been rigged up, no battery. I had put my jumper pack on it, but the carb is off the boot. Looks like the shock, your gas bottle for your shock, the little knobs broke off. This thing sits up pretty tall too, so I guess they got the shock adjusted all the way. I don't know, is this the stock height? But it's got a key, but the gas tank is just sitting on there. The seat is just sitting on there. The handlebars are bent. Look like somebody fell. That's bent. So I guess when they fell, that bent. Throttle's free. All the switches are free, which I know because I had jumped it off. I don't know if the headlight works or the kill button. Front disc brakes. The fender's been painted on the front, which I ordered a new fender for it because that fender is hideous. It's got the stock exhaust on it. Looks like it's all there. I don't know if it's supposed to be something there or that's just a design. Back fender's got a crack. Get some. It's got the brush guards on it. Moose Racing. Number plate's faded. Like I said, I don't know what works and what don't work. I think it's got, I feel like it's got front brakes. Chains all super adjusted out too far. Oh no, it ain't. It's just rusty. No chain guard cover. The thing about this bike, the good thing is it's electric start. The bad thing is your battery ever goes down in the woods, you're gonna be push starting off a hill. But so what we're gonna do, we're gonna see if it's gonna run. I actually bought a battery for it. I'm gonna have to make a cable in for it, and we're just gonna try and start it, turn the gas on, and see can we get it to start. Maybe he wasn't doing something right and then had the gas on. It's got a full tank almost. So it's got gas in it. It's got an odometer on it, or trip. That's a trip gauge actually. This is your enduro bike, your hair scramble woods bike. And of course you can put turn signals and mirrors, because I think it's got the spot here where you can put a mirror, and over here where you can put a mirror. So you can put the brake light kit, turn signals. But I'm gonna get the battery ready. We're gonna stick a battery in it, and I'm gonna see can I get the crank without taking the carburetor off. Like I said, they probably weren't doing something right. Looked like they lost the rubber bushing out of the gas tank. So this thing probably done changed hands about 40 million times. But has it got any oil in it? It's got the little sight glass. Yeah, it's got oil in it, probably need to be changed. Well, let me get the battery, get it in there, and see what it's going to do. So I made a new cable in, just one I can find. I crimped it on there best I could, and we got this extreme 12-volt battery for dirt bikes, four-wheelers, snowmobiles, and jet skis. So this is supposed to be the right size battery for it. So what I ended up doing was just taking the drill, and I just drilled this cable out a little bit. I couldn't find a screw small enough right at this moment. Hopefully that's gonna suck. I don't know why they would stick a battery in here at this angle. At least it could have held long cables. Job getting that to bend around there. I think somebody had bent the cables anyway. We'll get it one way or another. Catches that screw back there, that nut back there. Just won't get it. This thing is really gonna piss me off right now. Alright, get on there, you stupid cable. This thing runs good. I'm gonna redo all this mess. Finally, battery is installed. Alright, so I guess we can see what it's spin over. Sound like we got a bird in the audience. It's in that tree over there. So let's see what this thing spin over, which it should, because I've heard it spin over. It might actually crank. I don't know what they were doing with it. He said he didn't know much about bikes, but you know how people lie to you, but I doubt he was lying. Key on. Hopefully that battery's charged. It's supposed to be. We got nothing. It's got a Kickstarter switch. Nope. Huh. Can we pull something loose? Wires in. Unless this battery needs to be charged, which is a brand new battery out the box. Let me get my jumper pack. Some of these batteries you don't have to charge. Some of them you do, especially the ones that seal. Could be wrong. There, that'll stay on there. Oh, snap-a-doodle. See what I did wrong. I got the stupid cables on backwards. Uh-oh. Hope I didn't just fry this thing. When I hooked the jumper up, the warning light was on. That is not good. I wasn't paying attention. So that battery is definitely not going to work. The post is on the wrong side. That was everything. Everything I worked hard on is gone. Oh man, it sucks. I'm going to take the battery back and get another battery. That battery's not going to work. The post has got to be on the other side. Well, I guess we'll just hook the booster to it then. We'll hook the jumper to it. That's all I can do now, and I'll take the battery back. Get the right one. I didn't notice that. I hope I didn't hurt anything. I didn't hear anything spark. Always something. I just didn't pay attention. That's supposed to be the battery for it. Let's see what she does. All right. Uh-oh. That ain't good. Might have blew a fuse. Well, wait a minute. This one's got a button you push that lets you jump without a battery. Not my day today. Might have blew a fuse. That was a careless mistake. Oh. Need to find the fuses. And it's blowed. Good thing it blew the fuse. 15 amps. I should have known better than that. I wasn't paying attention. I just slapped the battery in there. We didn't hurt anything. Good thing it's got a fuse. Still ain't getting no start. Did we blow another fuse? That fuse is a little too high. It's the only fuse I see on it. That is not. Well, I think I might have fried something, folks. We only got this one fuse link. Unless it's got one on the cylinder. For some reason, this jumper box is supposed to come on, though. Let me, let's get a battery. What's happening today? Ain't the greatest cables I got. I think we got it now. Something's up with the jump pack. heard a spark. There we go. Let's see if I got any gas flow over here. Rigged up gas line. It looks like it's got gas. Gas in it don't smell good. Oh, we got gas flowing out. So the needle and the seat must be stuck. Looked like somebody was already tapping on it. Huh. There's no telling what's wrong with that carburetor. Not getting gas. Sounds good. Just spray it. It won't idle. Oh, they got the idle screw all the way out. They ain't smoking or nothing. Well, it runs. It's gonna need the carburetor definitely taken off to be checked into, because the needle and seat is probably not set right. They probably got something in wrong. Somebody's definitely been in it. Doesn't smoke. So that's a good thing. Let's see if she crank again. Headlight works. So I'm gonna have to pull the carburetor off. It looks like it's got some kind of oil leak up here. I'll have to pull the carburetor off and go through it, get the right battery. And like I say, motor sounds good. It's got like an oil leak up there on the front. Might just need a valve cover gasket. But headlight works, tail light works. Exhaust sounds good. Question is, how's the clutch and the gears? Almost wants to run on its own. Last time trying. Till we get it right. be another reason why. It was leaking over here, so I turned it off. Let's see what it does now. Yeah. Don't want to burn the starter up. So I'm going to take the carburetor off, get the right battery, and then we'll go from there with it. But it sounds promising right now anyway. So I was going to take the carburetor off. As you see, they done rigged up some kind of, I don't know if that's a piece of hose or something. Looks like a piece of hose for the front carburetor boot. But if it works, it works. But that is not professional. These screws are all stripped. So somebody's definitely been in it. Probably 555,000 times. The gas don't smell too great. But it was leaking out the carb when I turned the gas on the first time. So that right there tells me there's a bunch of trash in there. Just cable out of there. So we'll get the cables off. I know the long one goes towards the back of the carburetor because that's what actually pulls. Then they got some hose clamps, real hose clamps. Like I say, if it's working, it's working, but we'll order the right carburetor boot for it. I didn't even see it. It's things you don't see when you're in the middle of a trade. Yeah, that's definitely some kind of hose or something, like a, looks like an air breather hose off of something. I don't know what that is. Definitely not factory. Well, nah, it's been cut. Well, it could be factory. I have to look it up. It just don't look right. It's all cut on one end. But the carburetor is off. So what I'll do is get it up on the table. We'll break it down and see what's up with it. Like I say, old bike runs pretty good. Sounds like it. It's got some kind of oil leak going up here on the front. Seems a little smoke. There's a little oil right there. So I don't know if it's valve cover gasket, might be. But let's see if it's got anything in the air box. I didn't think to check it. I see that it's already loose. So that could mean something bad or something good. It's got an air filter. No rat's nest. It's a good air filter too. It ain't all dry rotted, so that's good. So anyway, I'm going to take the battery back before they close, and I'm going to then break the carburetor down, and we'll see what's inside of it. Alright, so let's dismantle this carburetor and see what's going on inside. What kind of carburetor is this? Is it a Ken? It don't even have a name on it. I see a TK. Must be one of those aftermarket carburetors. let's take the bowl off and see what's in here. Somebody definitely been in it. So we need to take the bowl off and inspect it, clean it, put it back on there. So with the battery situation, I went to get the right battery and they didn't have it. So they had to order it from another store, which it was too late to go back. So hopefully we'll get it tomorrow. It's got some gangrene in there. I see some trash all the way down at the bottom. So definitely it needs to be clean, and somebody's been messing with the float level. So we need to readjust the float. That's why I was pouring gas out the bottom, because somebody had adjusted the floats and got it all screwed up. So I don't know if you can see that, but that tab right there where your needle is, see how it's bent up? It should be bent in. So when the float rises, come down here, when the float rises, it's going to push that up real quickly. Instead of it being down, it's going to take a long time for it to actually shut off. So the float could be all the way up, but that needle could be halfway down still. What is that? A piece of metal came out of there? What is that little piece of wire just fell out of it. I don't know what's that about. Try to get your focus back down there. There you go. So anyway, we're going to take it apart and clean it. So down in this bowl, I see some trash. See, can I spray that out of there? It's definitely been sitting. We'll let that soak in there for a minute. Loosen that up. Pull this off. Some kind of spacer doolally. And we need to get the needle out. Get the floats out of there. Find something small. We can do that. I am about to blind myself with this light up here. Try and get you guys into action. It's small in here. Just bear with me. All right. So we need to get this float out. So what I'm gonna do is take this little punch I got, pull that float out. see a lot of trash floating around, grass or dirt. I'm gonna bend this tab on this float. This is bent up. It should be pushed in a little bit. The needle's got some green stuff on it. Let's just take the seat out. You don't want to get the pliers inside of it. If it'll come out of there. If it don't, I'm not going to really force it because I don't want to mess it up. Sometimes trash sits in behind it. I don't want a chance messing it up. So we'll just leave the seat in there. I'm going to clean the needle off and we'll pull the jets out. Small screwdriver. Jets. Special screwdriver for that. Alright, let's pull this jet out of here. Somebody stripped it out. They used too big of a screwdriver on the jet right there. Oh man. It's always something. They probably couldn't get it out. You gotta have the right screwdrivers when you're messing with these carburetors. Ah! See how tight that was. Let's get that bad boy out of there. It's probably dirty. It's got some green stuff on it. Definitely stopped up. Yep. So this jet right here, I think this is the idle jet. No, this is the idle jet, or the main jet, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. But that one stopped up. Let's see what's up with this one. It's definitely been sitting though, because everything in here was about to turn green. Wish I can get that. That's the main jet there. It's got some green stuff on it. That's the slide. It's got a mechanical slide, don't have the vacuum. A lot of dirt in there. We might can get by just kind of cleaning the jets and don't disturb this slide, because it's going to involve taking all the linkages apart. We can take a peek in there. Somebody's been in there, most definitely. Let's just take a peek in there and make sure everything looks good. Since someone's been digging in there, all the screws look like they were using too big of a screwdriver. I always want to double check. That's the inside of it, where your slide is. It's got that little arm on there. Like I said, I don't really want to disturb this spring and all that, so I'm going to try and leave that on. I'll probably just fill it up with some carburetor cleaner and blow through it. Maybe we can just spray through all that. They probably been filling with the air screw too, no telling. So I'm going to blow this out. I don't want to get carburetor cleaner on the camera. I think mainly it's just the jets that are stopped up. So we'll let that sit. I'm gonna blow this. This right here is definitely clogged up. Look at that. I can't even blow through it. So what I normally do is take this wire brush. It's got this little piece of wires on it. I usually take the jet. Sometimes I'll just break it off of there, but I just take the jet, stick it on the little piece of wire, twirl it around. That'll push all that dirt out. Then I don't want none of that to get wet. Now let's see what it spray out. There it goes. See it? First it wouldn't do that. It was clogged up. So we know that one's clear. Then we got the main jet here. Make sure it's good. It's got all those little holes in it. That looks good. Then we'll readjust the float. So it won't down too far, because it was pouring gas out of the carburetor. Another thing, they got that rigged up carburetor boot on there, but it seemed like it was sealing. So I'm going to take the air hose and blow that out. Alright, so that's pretty good there. Without soaking it, I think that's pretty decent. So we'll put this back on. Didn't see nothing in there that was wrong. Man, that carburetor cleaner turning your hand white. That's some bad stuff right there. I should have some gloves on. Alright, top's back on. Hopefully the rest of the carburetor is not bad. If so, I have to just strip it down and soak it overnight. I think the main reason was because the floats are not adjusted right, and that jet was stopped up. Probably gonna need a rebuild kit. So I'm gonna take this tab, I'm gonna bend it in. They had it bent out. That's causing, like I said, it caused the float not to shut off to the needle. I mean, the float will get all the way up there, but it's not shutting off. So I'm just going to bend it in just a tad. These floats don't look too good either. They're starting to look all dry rotted. Hopefully that homemade intake boot they got it's gonna hold up. Like I say, I'm gonna order one for it. They probably messed it up taking the carburetor off of it. Just ripped the doggone thing off of it. Alright, so the float's back on. I might spin it up just a little bit more. I don't think I really did anything there. Not too much. Those floats are probably bad. That's why they had it. Well, they had it bent down, so that was letting the needle drop down further. We'll try that. So this little thing here just changed colors. In the bowl and let it soak. It's got a big water. Bunch of trash down in there. And I did forget. I bet you guys was like, you forgot the jet. This carburetor's kind of rough. I don't know what they got the air screws set at. I'm just gonna run it all. It was almost all the way in anyway. I'm gonna bag it out a couple turns. They were just fiddling with it. They didn't know what they were doing. Bowls back on. Where's the screws at? Just 3 bowl screws. That's it. Actually, I think that's the idle jet that we took out. Because the big jet is the main jet, the small jet is the idle jet. That's probably why it wasn't idle, because that jet was stopped up. Well, that's got to be the problem, because it wasn't idle at all. They even stripped out the drain screw. Choke. Alright, well, let's move on to the bike, put it back on there, and see how she runs. Alright, so carburetor's back on. I put some fresh gas in it. I drained the tank. So let's see what she'll do now, since we kind of went through the carburetor. Choke on, key is on. See what that, I know that's gonna wake it up. Hopefully it's getting fuel down there. Tap on the carburetor a little bit. I can't open the drain screw up on the carburetor because they stripped it. We're not getting the gas. We're not getting any fuel down here. Oh, let me see, can I open the drain screw? I doubt it. It's so stripped out. Something's up with the needle and seat. Nope. I'm gonna have to flip that carburetor back around, check that needle and seat because we're not getting gas flow. So let me do that. So the carburetor is full of gas. You can see that, but I figured out what the problem is. I think they cut the carburetor boot off the airbox and put the other end up here on the intake as a carburetor boot. And you see how long it is. I'm thinking it's having problems sucking gas from way back here into the intake, or what's left of it. It's not pulling good enough. That's the reason why I can spray at it. It'll crank when you spray at it. Once you get it running, the vacuum of it running is sucking the gas. But once you go to idle, that vacuum goes away because it's having a hard time sucking the gas from the carburetor all the way through here. It's probably like a real short carburetor boot that goes on here. And I guess they broke it pulling it off, and they just whacked the airbox boot in half and stuck the carburetor in there with 2 clamps. So what we could do is cut, because it's like that's how far in my finger is. I don't know if you can see that. That's the metal part of the head, or the boot, actually the base of what the carburetor boot was on. So what we could do is cut a little bit of this off, and that will bring the carburetor up closer to the head, and it'll probably let it suck more gas. And because the carburetor was full of gas, so it should have been pulling it out of there. With it being full of gas like that, the needle is opening up and closing like it's supposed to in the seat. So I'm gonna whack some of that off. I'm gonna put the carburetor back on there, and then we'll try that. I'm gonna order a new boot for it anyway. Alright, so I cut that boot off a little bit. So hopefully that's what the problem is. I cut about that much off of it. So let's crank it now. Still not starting. Let me spray a little bit at it. It's got an oil leak over here on the side of the head. Looks like it's coming from the valve cover gasket, but it still don't want to idle, and you still got to spray in it. So it's going to be one or two things: compression, or it's going to be the carburetor. So what I'm going to do, let's just take the tank off of it, and let's hook a compression gauge up and see what the compression is on it. If that checks out good, it's got to be that carburetor. It either needs to be thoroughly cleaned, like soaked, stripped down, you know, or replaced. Like I said, the engine sounds good. The valve cover gasket's leaking, I believe. It's just dripping oil out over there. It's got a, I think it's coming from this screw right here. Looks like it's supposed to be some kind of washer. Sorry about that. I was aiming down. Sorry. That screw looks like it's supposed to be some kind of washer back there or something. And the oil is leaking down the exhaust and down the head. So we'll probably need to take that out. No telling what they did to that. But I'm gonna get the gas tank off, get the spark plug out, and let's check the compression, see what that looks like. And like I said, if that checks out good, it's gotta be the carburetors, because it won't crank until I spray at it, and then I can rev it, but it won't idle. It just shuts right off, and I got it. You can see how far I got the idle screw cranked in, so it should be idled up real high. So let me get all that stuff ready and we'll check that out. Alright, we got the spark plug out. So let's get the compression gauge in there. The plug looked kind of crummy. So hopefully I got the right fitting, which I think is this one, because this goes way on down in there. Let's see what the compression is on this thing. You know when you get something and you get to looking at it and you're going, why did I even get it? That's where I feel right now. Especially when you start finding out more and more problems. So let's hook it up. But like they say, anything can be fixed. Just depending on how much money you want to put in it. But it's the name of the game. So I got the throttle open. Let's see what we got. Got 150 and holding. So that's good. It's got good compression. It's got 150, so that's real good. So that tells me that the rings are good, the valves are good. So it's gonna be this stupid carburetor. That's what it is. We're either gonna have to pull it off, strip it down and soak it, or just get a new one. I'm probably gonna look into getting a new one. If they're not that expensive, I'll just buy a new one for it. Get a new carburetor boot. This boot is, I think it's screwed onto the air box, the rear boot, where they whacked it off. if I could just get that boot by itself without buying the air box, I'll just get that boot by itself. So carburetor, maybe. Intake boot, the back of the airbox boot, a new spark plug, and of course we got the new battery coming. And so that should take care of the mechanical part and figure out where this oil leak is coming from. I think it's coming from here. Let's see if it's loose. Yep. And it's stripped. Look at that. Is it tightened? Yep. It's like stripped. But I got it where it's tight. You can see the oil dripping out of there. That is, why did they take that out? What was the purpose of that? Well, we know it's got oil pressure, so maybe we'll clean it off real good. Put some Teflon tape around that screw and then tighten it up. But right now it's tight, but I can feel it's gonna strip right out. So anyway, that's gonna be it for now on this thing. I'm gonna do some research on some parts for it, like the carburetor, the intake boot, and the airbox boot, and just try and slowly piece it back together and make it out of something. Like I say, it's still gonna need a ton of work, like the handlebars a bit, and the seat. I ordered the front fender. Maybe I should have waited and ordered the carburetor intake boot, but I didn't know that was messed up. But the engine sounds good compression, so that's a plus. Our next worry will be about the clutch and the gears. Hopefully the transmission's good in it, but I believe it is. So anyway, that's gonna be it on the 2004 TTR 250. Until next time, we'll move on to something else, and that's it. So y'all have a good one. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll get back.